Hey Dominic, alright, so let's take a look at your sketchbook here and then go into your first Maya pose, your stew pose for this class, for the term, for the school. So everything is looking pretty good here. I think the main thing that, like my biggest note with these poses is that they're just there's a little bit too much detail, and I know that they're quick and they're not super detailed, they're not shaded or anything like that. But with gesture drawings, and especially for thumbnails, you want to be as quick and as simple as possible, and think about just like jotting these ideas down on paper, and just like you would a note. Taking notes in a class, and you're just getting like the quickest amount of information possible. Same sort of thing here. You just want to go with simplicity, and that is going to get you a lot further with your ideas. And just the main thing here is to loosen up and to not get so bogged down in the actual drawing. And don't think that you need to have really nice drawings to show off to everybody, because these aren't for everybody. These are for you. These are for your ideas. So simple, quick stick figures. That's all we need. What I usually like to do is start with the line of action. And it looks like you're thinking about that a little bit here. I see that a little bit with that. But yeah, that would be the first thing I would think about is okay, like what's the line of action for this character, and get that, and then build around that. So like maybe just bring the head, just because it's easy to bring that head, and get a little bit more reference from there. And then maybe the body would be just something like this. Just like, maybe you can mess with proportions for the body, like if it's more of a masculine shape, then do something like that. Whatever, it doesn't even really matter. The point is that you're getting stick figure drawings down, and you're getting your ideas down quickly and with simplicity that keeps you moving forward and keeps you exploring ideas. That's like the most important thing. And so it's like quick sketch here, quick sketch, stick figure here, and then going from that, say, okay, that was okay, but maybe I can go even further with this line of action. Maybe I can get more exaggeration out of this character if I keep exploring. Draw that pose more than once. Don't draw. I like that you're exploring these 5 poses, and that was your first exploration, is to take a bunch of ideas and say, okay, like maybe this one, no, that doesn't work. Maybe that one, oh, okay, I like this one. I like number 2 the best. Draw that one. Draw number 2 more than once. Take another piece of paper and draw it 3 or 4 times. Draw it 5 or 6 times. Draw it as many times as you start to feel comfortable knowing that pose on paper, and just exploring that idea as much as you can. Draw it from a different angle. You might think, oh, that doesn't work. Let's try that again. Draw it. Push that line of action. The main thing to get out of this is that you can think about your exaggeration and your staging a lot more in this phase. So that's why I'd say I would draw this one, the one I drew here up at the top, and then I'd take that line of action and push it even further, and say, okay, like how can I get even more out of this? Like maybe bring the head up here, get the body in, whatever is right there, and just like thinking about the overall shape here. You're able to in a very loose way, in a very quick way, explore the exaggeration of your character, explore the pose itself. And even these 2 drawings, you can see the difference there. That gives you a better starting point of saying, okay, I did this first one, now I drew a few others, and now once you figure, you see the one that you like, you can have that as a starting point. And that's not going to be, like, you're not taking these thumbnails and saying, okay, now I need to copy it exactly the way in that it was on paper as I am in Maya. That's not necessary. But you're still getting a starting point. You're still exploring those ideas. It's okay if that pose in Maya strays a little bit from this original idea, or from the one that you've finalized on paper. It's okay to keep exploring with that and keep pushing your poses. But the overall idea here is loosen up and just think about how you can simply and quickly get these ideas out on paper in more than one form. Like iterations are very important here. So that said, let's take a look at this. So it's looking pretty good. I mean, I do like that you did something a little bit different from your original thumbnail, and you took it in a different direction. So maybe that suggests to me that you're exploring these ideas in your stew pose, in your Maya scene a little bit more than you are on paper. And that's the reason why I'd say do it more on paper, is because then you have maybe perhaps a little bit of a better starting point. But I already went over that. So either way, what's working here is that, you know, I'm seeing a little bit more exaggeration. The thing with this one is that I feel like the staging is, although I do like that it's open more to camera than your original drawing, we're getting some odd stuff in the silhouette because of that. And this foreshortening here with this leg, like if you just look at that in silhouette, it creates something that's a little bit ambiguous. You're like, I'm not really sure what these two things are. And so if that's the case, then don't think that we really need to see it. You can say, you can have the knee back behind the body and maybe just like a little bit of the leg out here. And then we would understand, okay, well, there's the foot back here, however that angles out in whatever way it does. Then we'll get a better sense of that there, right? So with that, I do like how, like, you're getting a little bit more exaggeration out of the arm. Let me look back at your sketch. So you have the arm coming up here, the weight there. So I did like, sorry, I'm going to do a little bit more flipping. I did like how, like this almost worked a little bit more, how the leg was almost, there's a little bit of weight supported there. And if we're not seeing it on this side, I'd say maybe even like bring it down a little bit here. So we're getting, this is me exploring this pose now a little bit more. So, and then the line of action that you had suggested that it would be more like that, right? So we're clarifying that idea, and I'd say maybe just a little bit too much bend in the spine. Like, think about the spine as an overall unit, like it works together. So if you're bending in one area, and you know, if you have to bend too much in one area, where you're bending is okay. Just one thing to be careful of is, like, don't bend too much from this top part. But at the same time, I feel like it's probably bending a little bit too much. And then we can bring this arm down. That's supporting the weight too. Simplify this hand shape a little bit more. And I'm going to go over hands tomorrow. If I forget, let me know. But I mean, you can simplify it a lot and just think about that. And then one thing I liked from the angle that we saw in your thumbnail is that we're seeing the neck of this character because it's stretching out. Like the whole line is stretching out. So we want to see that neck. And I like the angle of the head. We're seeing that, and you're opening it up to the audience, and that's great. But I'd like to see that neck. So take that control and translate it up and push that neck out there. And then with this hand and this arm, again, simplify a little bit more, but I feel like you can get more of that shape in there, and that gives it more of that like feeling of like reaching out and crying for help. So there's just a little bit of a staging thing here. The thing about this character, as you've probably noticed working with it, is that the head takes up a lot of space, a lot of screen space. And so anytime you start moving it towards camera and moving the body away, you get that disproportion feel. So I'd say, like, maybe try a little bit more profile here, but not too much to where you're closing off to the audience, but and still keep that line of action and really think about what's happening with the silhouette here. because just bringing this leg down, it gives it a lot more clarity than what's happening with it behind the body, and so yeah, you're definitely on the right track, but it's just a few tweaks here and there. Again, like exploring more on paper will go a long way. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, thanks, Dominic.